Low stomach acid could be what's causing your problems. Hi, my name is Nari. I'm a gut specialist and registered dietitian. And did you know that stomach acid actually has a job? It plays a crucial role in overall health. If you've been dealing with bloating, fatigue, nutrient deficiencies, this could actually be caused by low stomach acid. Now, I know sometimes stomach acid is the last thing and even not even on our radar. Let me share a quick story with you. A few years ago, I went to the doctor to just get regular labs. They did the regular labs and they're like, your iron's a bit low. Let's do an endoscopy and colonoscopy to find out why your iron is low. Well, they diagnosed me with iron deficiency anemia. I do the endoscopy and colonoscopy. And for those of you who had that procedure, no, it is not fun. And the prep work is not fun. So, anyhow, I do the procedure. I go back to the doctor, and my primary doctor says, well, the GI doctor said that nothing was found and everything's okay. So then I ask her, do we have another step to find out why I have the iron deficiency anemia? Guys, I actually had hope that they would try to dig deeper to get to that root problem. What an innocent soul. Anyhow, I ask her, she says, essentially, we don't know. Everything is fine. We don't know why. So just take supplements as needed or until you die. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's the worst answer. So that's actually part of the reason I got into functional medicine. I decided to look deeper into it and just take control myself. So I actually do a functional stool test and revealed so much. And part of the problem that I learned that I was dealing with was low stomach acid. So what did I do? I started to develop my own gut health protocol, which included digestive support. Following that, I can tell you till this day, so now it's 2025, I have not used iron and I feel great. And by the way, before I did the colonoscopy, endoscopy, and so forth, I remember all those signs that were connected to iron deficiency anemia. I'm just getting tired early, like super early, 4 in the afternoon. I'm thinking I am ready to go, like I can take a nap right now. Now it's gone, guys. Fixing that for me in my personal case and a lot of the people that I work with is it. So let's get into it. What is stomach acid? Stomach acid, or hydrochloric acid, HCl, helps break down food, especially protein. It helps it break down into smaller particles so that way your body can absorb it better. It actually activates enzymes like pepsin and kills harmful bacteria. Guys, if you have me on Instagram, you know I'm always preaching about these things. Stomach acid has a job and we need to allow it to do its job. And in general, again, it creates an acidic environment, which makes it easier to absorb nutrients such as iron, calcium. Proper stomach acid levels are essential for healthy digestion and gut health, as they prevent food from being fermented and support a balanced gut microbe. Because remember, if food's just hanging out there, it's not being broken down, those microbes are going to eat that up over and over for a long period of time. Then we have a lot of uncomfortable digestive issues like burping. Now, let's get into some signs you may be dealing with low stomach acid. One of the biggest things is bloating, especially after meals. If you feel uncomfortable or full or gassy after eating, it could be a sign you're just not digesting your food. And also heartburn. A lot of individuals say, Nari, I'm having some type of acid reflux, which is interesting because usually we tend to say we have acid reflux because we have too much stomach acid. But let me tell you a secret. That's not true. You don't have a lot of stomach acid causing the heartburn. Now, there are some cases that sure maybe, but for 99% of people, at least in my case, working with thousands of people for the last few years, that hasn't been a case. But again, similar like the first point, low stomach acid can trigger heartburn because food sits in the stomach for way too long. It's fermenting and it's causing pressure. That's the problem. It's not being broken down, again, needing that digestive support. Next, we have nutrition deficiencies like mine with the iron. Have you ever wondered why your iron may be low or the B12 despite eating a diet that's balanced? This is key. Low stomach acid could be preventing the food from being absorbed, which again was my problem. Remember, stomach acid has several jobs, and one of that is helping your body absorb those nutrients from food. So if it's too low, how is your body going to be able to absorb it? It's not. Now, another sign is food sensitivities. Hey, Naria, I was able to eat this before and now I can't. Also, undigested food in your stool. Your stomach acid kickstart digestion. Without enough of it, your body's going to struggle to break these proteins and other nutrients. So, yes, you are going to have some difficulty with certain foods. A big question I get is, Naria, can we do a food allergy test? And the thing is, what I found again in my personal practice is focusing on healthy digestion makes a necessity to do a lot of extra testing just not necessary. You fix this problem, it usually fixes, if not everything, at least most issues to where you don't need to do that extra test. Let's share a quick fact. Low stomach acid is one of the biggest issues and no one talks about it. I've had to explain this to so many people that their problem could be connected to having low stomach acid, especially if they're taking a stomach acid reducing medication. When someone tells me they've been taking a stomach acid reducing medication like omeprazole, which we all know is super popular, I ask them for how long. Has it been a few weeks, a few months, a few years? And when I hear the few years, I ask them, did your doctor talk to you about the potential risks? But let me share a little bit with you. And what I want you to do is go to your primary care doctor, whoever prescribed this to you, and I want you to ask them, are these true? I just want you to, out of curiosity. And I will tell you that most of the time, maybe 85% of the time, the doctors do say, yeah, if you use it for a long period of time, there are these risks. And usually it makes my clients feel so frustrated and ask, why did the dietitian have to tell me this, not the one that went to medical school? Like, I trusted you with all of my life. You didn't tell me this. Now a dietitian's telling me, why is this the case? I don't have an answer, guys, but that's just the way it is. From recent cases, let's say in the last 6 months, there's only been one doctor that was just like, no, it's not true. The dietitian's lying. But this client had a different doctor she was working with. It was a specialist. I believe it was like a heart doctor. So she goes to the heart doctor and she says, I just spoke to my dietitian. My dietitian said this about prolonged use of stomach acid reducing medications in my case. I spoke with my general provider. My general provider said that she wasn't saying the truth. Can you clarify and tell me what's going on? Well, the heart doctor says the dietitian was right. He says, this is what happens when you take these medications for a prolonged period of time. My client comes back to me very upset and she tells me, Naria, after you told me this, I did go to my doctor and they said that you weren't telling me the truth. But like a few days after, I had another appointment with a specialist and I asked the doctor the same question and they said that you were telling me the truth and they elaborated about everything. Thank you. Sometimes I'm just a messenger, and I wish that more providers, more doctors, more nurses, more dietitians were teaching people these simple, basic things can really change people's lives. Side note, if you're taking these stomach acid reducing medications for so long, your kidneys aren't going to be happy and your bones aren't going to be happy in the long run. But let's get back to it. The point is, low stomach acid is a bigger problem than most people think. And unfortunately, most people don't even consider it because they're not being told by their doctor. That's why, if you're listening to this, I want you to take control and know it could be your problem, especially if you're dealing with those issues I just mentioned. Now, what are some things you can do if you think you're dealing with low stomach acid or you want to improve and have a healthy digestive system? Let's get into it. Now, before you go into these things, if you're working with your gut specialist, please make sure that you're explaining to them what your case is, what's going on, and what you plan to do to support a healthy digestive process. Because sometimes we actually do need to hold our horses and reduce the stomach acid to prevent problems from getting worse. Maybe you have some type of ulcer. We don't want to get it worse. So you may actually need a stomach acid reducing medication for some time. My point is, if you plan to do this, please talk to your provider before you go for it. All right, let's get to it. First one, nice and easy, apple cider vinegar. This, add about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons to maybe 4 to 6 ounces of water. Start with 1 tablespoon, just in case you're like, I don't know. Start nice and easy because that's also going to help with help the digestive process. Next, incorporate bitter foods. This could be leafy greens like arugula, dandelion to stimulate your stomach acid production in a natural way. For some of my clients, I do have them just take bitters, just like a supplement to make the process easier. So you could say, I may want to do bitters through foods and supplements. It really depends on your case. So again, talk to your specialist to see what is best for you. Next, and super powerful, guys, Be mindful when you're eating. I know we tend to eat and watch TV, eat and be on YouTube, eat and be on TikTok, eat and yell at the kids, whatever. But I really want you to think, if you are dealing with these digestive issues and you want to support a healthy digestive process, I want you to hold your horses before you panic and just start to eat nice and slow. Chew mindfully, take your time to actually chew before you swallow to support that digestive process, because if you chew more, it's easier to break it down. So if you don't have enough stomach acid and it's not breaking down foods appropriately, your teeth chewing that food can make it a little bit easier. Next, limit highly processed foods and fluids with meals. Why? Highly processed foods are harder to digest, and too much fluid with meals can dilute stomach acid. Next, consider digestive enzyme or supplementing with HCl supplements. This can make, honestly, the digestive process a lot easier. So remember, if you're suspecting low stomach acid, supplements like the HCl, which I mentioned, can actually help. But you have to consult with the provider, because you don't know if you need it with each meal, with one meal, with two meals, with what meals, and what's going to be your dosage. And playing around with this can cause some damage. So I do encourage you, again, if you're going to supplement with HCl, just get a provider, do a consult with them, and ask them what is the best case for me, or what is the recommendation, so that way you avoid the guessing game. Now, last one. You may need to seek a gut specialist that's maybe a dietitian like myself, a naturopathic doctor, a registered nurse. Just please make sure they are a gut specialist. Don't go with the general provider. I'm going to tell you, I get a lot of clients who have gone to general dietitians or naturopathic doctors or chiropractors, whatever, and spent thousands. I even had one a few weeks ago tell me they spent $20,000 on a chiropractor and their digestive issues have not improved. Mind blowing, someone would continue to take money, but that's a whole other episode there. Work with a health provider that's a gut specialist so they can determine the best plan for you. They may be able to tell you what supplements you need right off the bat. Cool, great. Or they may encourage you to do a functional stool test. I do functional stool tests for most of the people that I work with, because I like to avoid the guessing game. I want to see what's actually happening, what microbes are there, how many of the good, how many are the bad, is there any pathogens, any byproducts? Do we have signs of low stomach acid, which we're talking about today? And once I see that, I get a nice clear picture. I can give them supplements that are more likely to work. I mean, how many times have you taken a probiotic, or maybe you've tried digestive enzymes and you're like, it didn't work? Well, you just didn't get the right ones for you. Maybe it was a company, maybe it was a dosage, maybe it was a frequency. There's so many little things involved. So that's why I always recommend just work with a gut specialist. Just make sure they're a provider, a qualified person, not someone who just likes to talk about gut health and talks about yogurt all day. But yogurt is good, but let's get back to it. Now, if you've tried all these things and you still haven't hired a professional, it may be time. It may be time, because again, you want to try to get to that root problem, and a gut specialist will be able to guide you in a way that you can get it all done within maybe a few months or weeks versus years. Like, if you've been dealing with this for years, I know you're tired of it. I know. And I know the digestive issues progressively get worse if you're not dealing with it the appropriate way. Just get a specialist, get it done, invest in your health, and feel good. Enjoy life again, add foods back, and so forth. Now, if you haven't tried any of those actionable items and you're dealing with those issues, give them a go. Start with one, and I would love your comments to see how it helped. Comment here and let me know, hey, Naria, I tried this, I tried that, I tried two, I tried one. They worked fabulously. Great, perfect. Or let me know, Naria, I've tried all these and they're absolutely trash. I still have bloating. I still have all these issues. What do I do next? Let me know. I want to know what's working for you guys. The feedback that I get from my clients, my experience, your experience, I like to combine it all. So comment below. Let me know what's worked for you. And until next time, bye guys.